from far and wide, and a lot of us would also like to go back in good time to our various destinations, in spite of our intention to have a nice time here. So we'll try as much as possible not to waste our time. We would like to take the opening anthems, which are the OAU anthem, the pharmacy, the national anthem, the OAU anthem, and the pharmacy anthem, in that order. Are we on cue? Do we have it? We don't have it. Well, I guess we cannot do the national anthem. Shall we stand and... I'm not a particularly very good singer, so I just almost on. 1, 2, 3, go. Shall we take the great OAU anthem? 1, 2, 3, go.
Great fair, Africa's most beautiful campus, conscious, vigilant, progressive, and Luther against all oppression. Forward never, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle. Great fair, I love you. There is only one great fair in the universe. Another great fair is a counterfeit. Great, 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 great.
Greatest of the greatest!
Great!
Well, listen, I was going to keep quiet and allow you to sing the family anthem. But maybe I'm going to skip it if there's nobody to lead us through it. Fantasists in the house? If there's nobody to lead us, please let's sit down. Okay, somebody's volunteering. Oh.
We pharmacists, we're proud of pharmacy. We pharmacists, we're proud of pharmacy. We members all of the glorious BSN, Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, has spent upon Norwegian for pharmacy. Pharmacy, we are there. Drug making, we are drug dispensing, we are there. Nigerians, we are there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that introduction. Please do take your seats, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, we are here for a 3-in-1 celebration. It's a valedictory, it's a book launch, and it's also a birthday. Adebayo Lamikanra 70th birthday, which is coinciding with his being pulled out of the system here after spending 15 beautiful and glorious years in Obafemi University. For your information, for a few people who may not know, I also happen to have earned a degree, my first degree in Obafemi, Olo University. Just like yesterday, a few years ago. I'd like to recognize and then also call to the high table the chairman for today's occasion. He's a distinguished Nigerian, an international citizen, a journalist by excellence, a publisher's publisher, a drama educator, and the chairman of Council of Obafemi Awolowo University, Dr. Yemi Ogunbi. Please put your hands together for Dr. Ogunbi. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Which are all roads lead there. You see, in traditional Yoruba society, he would have been the person I would call last. Because there's a sense of protocol in that culture that is different from what the Europeans have imposed on us. And that's why we usually say, it's somewhere in the middle. And that's why our people say, Egunla, Ikein Ballet. All the minnows, young masquerades, would have had their turns. And then when the big one comes around, it takes over the occasion. But the Englishman has brought a sense of protocol on us. And unfortunately, we've not been bold enough to win ourselves of that. So we've had taken the chance of introducing him last. He will be pinching me and saying, he's there. Oh, no. Gabriel. Adebayo. Listen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for appreciating that. We must never lose our cultural values, no matter what happens to us. Because once we've lost that, once we've lost that cultural value, we've lost our humanity, we've lost our way, we've become animals. This culture defines us, tells us who we are, and also protects us to the rest of the world. That is who we are. And our children must see us do these things, and they must repeat them. We must inculcate it in them. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir, for that honorable gesture. I'd also like to invite to the high table the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, in the person of Professor Tope Ogunmodede. I know he's not here in person now because there is a Senate meeting going on, but if there is a representative, the person should step forward. If a representative is not here, we're recognizing him in absentia, and I'm sure that as soon as that meeting is done, he will be joining us here. Let me also invite to the high table the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy and the President of Professor Akomi. Professor Akomi, please join us there on the high table. Also joining us is a global chairman of Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association and the person of Chief Bumi Olaoba. Chief Bumi Olaoba, I will be 75 first degree graduate of the pharmacy department in University of Ife. I was going global. May I also call on the celebrant to join us also on the high table in the person of Professor Adebayo, Lamikanra. somebody who designated as a special guest for today's occasion. I have information that you have sent a representative to, and is none other than the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, in the person of pharmacist Sam Ohuabunwa. Pharmacist Sam Ohuabunwa is representing to you to join us. If he's in the house, once he gets in, please. So. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will do one or two recognitions now, move on with the program and do subsequent recognitions so that we do not bore us with recognitions. But I must do this. I must recognize especially an uncle to the celebrant, a royal lord. You've seen him when you've gotten here, from the ancient town of Laramokin. Laramokin is none other than Oba Aderemi Adifeiti Agbikorun Keji of Laramokin. NPC Kábíyèsí. Kábíyèsí o, kárí ọpẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà ọpẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, kí ẹṣin ọba kó jẹ kó pẹ́. Ní báyìí, a pè àwọn ọ̀gá àgbà yányán ní Faculty of Pharmacy. The acting head, rather, I felt the acting head of the Faculty of Pharmacy, of the Department of Pharmacy. And it comes this. Ojú mi ò ṣàpráprá púpọ̀. Kí ni mo sì kéré? Agídí mo fi ń yíká. Dr. E.O. Akikume, acting head, Department of Pharmaceuticals. Professor Ladimeji. Oh, Professor Ladimeji is representing. Professor Ladimeji, please. A welcome address. It's also, come on, I mean, we are here as your guests. Just a word or two to say, you have not poisoned the environment. You are going to offer us dinner. There is accommodation for us. All those kinds of things. Nice things. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that the Vice Chancellor is around. Professor Umodere. Please put your hands together for him. Oh, yeah. Please, come up here. Professor Professor Umodere, a distinguished public health professor, dentist. Distinguished dentist, Vice Chancellor.
The chairman of this special commission, who also is the distinguished chairman of the governing council of this great university, Dr. Yemi Ogupi, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Eitope Ogbode, the President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Pharmacy Sam Ohabuwa, ably represented here, the Global Chairman, Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association, Chief Umi Olaupa, our Royal Fathers here present, the Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor M.A. Akomu, the Honorable Commissioner for Health Services in Osun State, Pharmacist Dr. Shiji Olamijo, all deans here present, all heads of department here present, all professors here present, all staff, academic and non-academic, distinguished professionals, erudite scholars, all students here present, the celebrant of today, Professor Adebayo Lamikanra, his family and friends, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. The Department of Pharmaceutics in the Faculty of Pharmacy of Afemawolo University will surely miss the membership, leadership, and services of one of our finest, exemplary and seasoned lecturers and an erudite scholar, Professor Adebayo Lamikanra. Professor Adebayo Lamikanra is 70 years today and will be retiring from the services of the university. He joined the services of the department as a graduate assistant on 1st of October 1972 and rose to the rank of a professor on the 1st of October 1988, becoming one of the youngest professors in the university as at then. Professor Lamikanra has since served the department, taking both undergraduate and postgraduate courses, as well as supervising postgraduate students until his last day in the university. With this, he has served as a teacher in this department for a period of 47 years. Adding the period of his studentship from 1969 to 1972, Professor Lamikanra has spent a period of 50 years in this great university. His students are all over the world as leaders of thoughts in various areas of human endeavors. I would like to be educated if anyone has had similar record of dedicated service to this great institution. I am sure that Professor Lamikanra has created a record that will be difficult for anyone to break. During the period of his service in the department, he served as head of department. He equally served the Faculty of Pharmacy and this university at various levels, representing the Department of Pharmaceutics in high areas of responsibility, most creditably well. He is a researcher for excellence, a brilliant teacher, a sportsman, an author, a poet, and a philosopher. I have the singular honor of informing this distinguished audience that I am proud to be one of his products. Please permit me to make a brief recollection. Sometimes in the year 1996, I walked into room 213 in the Faculty of Pharmacy building with one aim in mind, and that was to ask Professor Lamikanra to be my final year project supervisor. That was the beginning of a long-time academic relationship that saw me having him as my only academic supervisor for all my pharmacy degrees, from B.Pharm to PhD. And I can tell you that I did not regret the choice. I can say confidently that no one can have a better supervisor. He did a thorough job. He has a special way of inspiring confidence in his students. He is courageous, disciplined, and very confident of himself. Some people say he is proud. Till date, I do not know what they mean. He speaks a lot, especially to those close to him, but he speaks his mind. You may not always agree with him, however, if you are sincere, you will know that he speaks and acts from perspectives of principle, as he is not someone to compromise his stance. From the perspective of viewpoints, we have areas of differences, but he has never tried to force his position on anyone, and you can never be in doubt of his position on any issue. Although he is retiring, his works will speak forever. I'm happy that today, in addition to his valedictory speech, he will also give us something to remind us of him. I am sure that his new book, My 50 Great Ife Years, will be a reference book for this great university for years to come. I am so sure that it will be a great addition to his earlier books, among which is the book Essential Microbiology, that has been a reference book in pharmaceutical and industrial microbiology over the last 30 years or so. He has made his mark, and the Lord has also given him the privilege of enjoying good health to the period of his retirement. I want to say here that I am proud of him. He's a professor and a teacher with difference. As the chief organizer of this valedictory, I and my team know that you deserve more than this. But we are glad that at least we have been able to provide a platform to bring together distinguished audiences, as well as leaders of our university, profession, and the general public, to celebrate someone who has proven consistently over the years that you can be positively different in any situation you find yourself, and that you can raise your head high while others are burying theirs in unholy compromise. With this, I welcome everyone here to this beautiful occasion. I believe very strongly you will enjoy every moment of it, and I pray for safe travels when you return to your different abodes. God bless you, and thank you very much for your work.
Thank you very much for that beautiful and reflective address. And you are not the only one who moved close to tears. And I also had to struggle to keep dry eyes. And because the man we are here to celebrate today is a man of passion, is a man we are passionate about, please hold your handkerchiefs close. Because on this note on which we are starting, I cannot guarantee that when the tributes come flowing, the tears will refuse to flow. And when they flow, let them flow freely. They are beautiful tears of joy for a man that we love. Right now, I'd like to call on the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor M.A. Akono, to give you his own speech. Please put your hands together.
Thank you very much. Following the due protocols as listed, I want to say that the chairman and the governing council of Obafemi University, Ile-Ife, Dr. Yemi Ogunbuyi, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Itope Ogunbolade, the President of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Pharmacist Mazi Sam Omabua, who we are still expecting, the Global Chairman, Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association, Sheikh Bumiola Opam, the Dean that are here, especially the former deans of pharmacy that are here, all the head of the department present here today, professors, staff of the university, distinguished professionals and others distinguished persons that have come to grace this occasion. The celebrant of today, Professor Adebayo Lamikanra, his family and friends. I want to say, Kabiyesi, indeed, we are celebrating a unique person today. I'm not going to repeat what the heads of departments have said about him, but as faculty, he has served as former dean in that faculty. Right from the beginning that he joined that faculty as graduate assistant to the level of professor. What I just want to say that is unique about him is that he's a man that I strongly believe today he will be highly fulfilled. Why am I saying so? Because he came in as a student in that faculty. He joined that faculty as graduate assistant. He rose to the rank of professor in that faculty, served as a dean, served as vice dean, served as the coordinating a lot of things. And I can say in a unique way that what I'm trying to say now is that why I'm saying that he must be highly fulfilled today is that he has reproduced himself several times. You know, when someone comes to a place and you come to contribute your own quota, the next thing is, will it be continued? And that is why I've said you must be highly fulfilled today. We have several professors here, and one of the products, because I was a student in that faculty, and now the dean of that faculty. And I'm highly honored to be here today to say, sir, thank you. He's a man of many parts. I remember when we have football team of the faculty, he served as member of that team. And in several ways. Another thing is a poet that is a member, he has served as Osun State Association of Nigerian Authors, contributed to guidance, and most of the time contributed to the nation building through his own write-up. I pray that God will grant you the grace to enjoy your retirement, and the peace of God will continue to abide with you and the family. As a Dean of Faculty of Pharmacy, and on behalf of the university, I know the Vice Chancellor is here, but on behalf of the Faculty of Pharmacy, the Dean is saying, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that speech. Very quickly, because of time, we'll just reel out a number of recognitions here, in no particular order. So we want to recognize Sakoba. Sakoba is ICOBA is Igobi College Old Boys Association. I have information that they are right here. For the 66-68 set. I would also like to recognize a senior advocate of Nigeria in the person of the celebrant's cousin, a senior, an older person to him, an older relative, Dejo Lamikanra, senior advocate of Nigeria. I would like to recognize Professor Okeke from the University of Ibadan, the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences. She's right here. You're very much welcome. We'd love to recognize Professor Aboderi from the Department of Medical Microbiology and Parasitology of Obafemi Awolowo University. You're welcome, sir. Professor Obuoto, Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, OAU. You're welcome, sir. Professor Desalu from the ICOBA class, that's Ibobi College Old Boys Association, class of 66-68. You are welcome, sir. I must admit that I actually feel a little small doing this because many people I'm introducing here are either grandfathers or my teachers. Would like to recognize Professor Ojo, retired Professor Ojo of the Department of Chemistry. You're very much welcome, sir. He was one of the earliest in this place today. We'd like to recognize Professor Mrs. Orafidia, Department of Pharmaceutics, OAU. Professor Moweri, Department of Pharmaceutics, OAU. Professor Bolaji, the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, OAU. We'd like to recognize Professor Oyelami, Department of Pediatrics, Clinical Sciences. Professor Jegede from the Department of Physics. The Provost College of Health Sciences is here with us also. Professor Jadwola, you're welcome, sir. We want to recognize Chief Pharmacist of the OAU Health Center and Services, Pharmacist Akimbili. You are welcome, sir. We want to recognize Professor Adapondo, Department of Computer Science. You are welcome, sir. Professor Ashubi, retired Professor Ashubi Ojo, Professor of Chemistry. You are welcome, sir. Before the meeting is over, we will introduce and recognize as many more dignitaries among us. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome the MC Major.
There is no MC Major. You are either an MC or you are not. He's trying to hide under his MC Major. He's MC PhD. We have other recognitions to come. The president of ASU is the chairman of ASU, Dr. Adebayo. Thank you very much. I understand you are here. Let's start a recognition. Oh, yeah, great. Great to see you here. Professor Afolayo, thank you very much. Please, just wave at us. Thank you very much. It's nice seeing you again. God is still being crisp and young. Right now, let me hand over the microphone to the chairman of council, distinguished gentleman, Dr. Yemi Ogunbi. Please give me a round of applause.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Ogunbodede, Professor Lamikanra, the special guest today. I call him Lami K. You all call him, so I call him Lami K. But let me correct before I continue that I'm not here in my capacity as Chairman of Council. I'm here because I'm Lamike's personal friend. That's important too. Because at a time when pro-chancellors are trying to take over universities and other places, I have to be very careful. I know what my role is as pro-chancellor. I'm not here to take over the role of the vice-chancellor. In some other places, I won't mention their names, pro-chancellors are taking over the university. I'm not going to do that here. I know where I belong here. But before I continue, I'd like to specially welcome very prominent professors who are here, persons whom I adore immensely, whom I met here when I came here 42 years ago to start my career as a university teacher. There's, for instance, Professor Assisi, who is here. Prof, I want to welcome you, sir. I also would like to welcome Professor Kumano, who came in when I was saying we met over there in Lagos, and I said, Prof, he looked at me and said, Yemi, you look a little bit young. I said, well, I'm not as young as you think, sir. I'd like to also recognize and welcome Professor Desalu, who is here from Ibadan. Prof, I know that you didn't go to King's College, you went to Godby College, but that's okay. Let me understand. I'd also like to welcome Professor Ojo, whom I met here when I came here 42 years ago. Prof, nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming. There's also in our midst Professor Ashimi Ojo is there, retired professor of, yes, Prof, how are you? Nice to see you. Professor Falano is here. Prof, again, I welcome you. Thank you very much for coming. Professor Polaki is here. He represents council here. He can do something of council, but I think I should also say to him, you're welcome, sir. And several provosts are here. I see Professor Jadola is here. And I'm using my point of reference to welcome all the other professors who are here, and deans of faculties and heads of departments. Kabesi, Adebayo, Matapelese. For me, it's not, as I said, a welcome address from me as Chairman of Council, but as a personal friend of Lamike. When I came here, I met him, and it was such, if ever, 42 years ago, was a lovely place to be. And he made being here what it was for me at that time. But let me tell you why today's event is important for us. It's not easy to retire after 50 years in a place like this, at a time when universities in the country are under some kind of assault, self-inflicted assault that we brought upon ourselves. I won't mention the issues that are before us today in many universities, but Lamike is retiring today without any blemish to his record. Not a single blemish to his record. No student has said that Lamike tried to trade sex for marks with any student. Never. When people say that Lamike is a man of integrity, I testify to that. He's a very gentle, easygoing guy, but he has a temper when it comes to integrity. Is that correct? He has a temper. When it comes to integrity, you should play with him, he fights back. That's the man that Professor Lamikanra is, and I'm so delighted that today we're here to honor him. Professor Lamikanra also represents something that's very rare in the system today. The very idea of an academy goes back to the days of Plato. An academy was a place where intellectuals sat around to discuss issues, elaborate and discuss not just issues that had to do with their profession, but just discuss general issues. That's where the word came from, academy. If there's anyone who's an academic in the finest sense of that word, it is Professor Lamikanra. Because apart from being a fine scientist, some of the finest poems I've read by anybody have been poems written by Professor Lamikanra. Again, that's rare. I mean, you run into academics who are very good in their own areas. You can write about the issues that they're trying to write about, but not in areas such as you find him engaged in his writings, his very writings. And his, for a long time, again, younger people might not remember this, Lamike wrote a few columns in newspapers, and you read them, and they were inspiring things to read. We shall miss him here in Ife. The university deserves people like Professor Lamikanra at this time in our country's history, when things are not the way they should be in universities. And I'm saying so as someone who also has come in contact with details and facts about the problems we face today in the university. Professor Lamikanra is leaving us at a time when I hope that we can ask the Vice Chancellor to ensure that people like him can be brought back to work for us, even as consultants, until he's really tired and then we can use him anymore. And so, on behalf of the myself and as Chairman of the Council, I'd like to thank you all for coming to honor Professor Lamikanra. I came all the way from Lagos this morning, and as soon as I leave this event, I'm going back to Lagos, because I had to be here today to honor him. He knows that I was invited to an event where Professor Shoyinka has been honored this morning at the University of Lagos. But I had said to Prof last night, I couldn't come to that event. I had to be here to honor Professor Lamikanra. That's why I'm here today. And I'm glad that many of you came. Some people have come from Lagos. I can see those who just arrived. And some of us will be going back today. But I want to thank you for coming. And to say that Lamike will wish you the very best as you go into retirement. You're not tired. I can see that. I can assure you that if it's within my powers, I can say, no, don't go yet. You can extend your stay. But you know how things are. The Vice Chancellor, I don't have those powers. He has those powers. The Vice Chancellor has those powers. But I wish you the very best in retirement, good health, and that you will continue to soar and do the things you do very well. 70 is a young age. I can say so because I was 70 a few years ago. I can tell you. 70 is a young age. And so the sky is the limit. And so we wish you the very best. I'd like to thank Professor Olauka for coming to represent that alumni group. One of the beauties of IFE is the very strong alumni groups we have. Other parts of the department or the general group itself. And we're hoping that before the end of the year, maybe early next year, we're going to have a big reunion for the different alumni groups. What we've tagged the mother of all reunions. That will bring back all the different groups to a big reunion to inform them of the things we're trying to do here and what we hope to do in the years ahead for this university. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and to please stick around and make sure that we buy copies of that book when it's time to sell those books. I intend to go instead of books back to Lagos. But Professor Lamikanra is something that this university should hold as a model for other universities in this country. Lamikanra should serve as a model. I was speaking to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos a few days ago, and they are going through quite a battle there now. And I said to him, I don't wish to be in the shoes of the Chairman of the Council, but it's not funny at all. And so when a man like this leaves us here, it's sad for us, because I'm hoping that others will learn from the standards set by this young man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Have a seat.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Council, for that wonderful speech. We have so many dignitaries in this place, and it's important we recognize every one of them. The former director of Pharmaceutical Services of Osun State, pharmacist Ojo, is around. The current director of Pharmaceutical Services, pharmacist Aweyemi, you are welcome now. pharmacists from Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital. There are so many of them. We want to recognize you. You are very much welcome. Members of the Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria. Sorry, that's not Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. You are all welcome. There are people here from Oshogo. There are people here from Enugu, pharmacists across the country. Professor Anya Dike, I cited you a moment ago, sir. You are welcome. Professor Oladimeji, we call him Professor Olad, Department of Pharmaceutics. You're welcome, sir. Dr. Shoeton of Imole Eye Clinic, Ilefe. You are welcome, sir. The faculty, staff, and members of pharmacy, academic staff, administrative, technology, you are all welcome. Professor Lukbade, pharmaceutical chemistry, you are welcome, sir. Professor Adebayo, former director of the Drug Research and Production Unit, Faculty of Pharmacy, you are welcome. And it is my pleasure to welcome two emeritus professors. Honestly, you read this in books. Emeritus Professor Ogunbono of the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry. You are welcome, sir. And we also have another in the house, Emeritus Professor Lasisi. You are welcome, sir. We celebrate you. You are welcome. We want to welcome Dr. Ms. Ajila, Dr. Mrs. Fashino from microbiology. You are welcome, ma. Dr. Umiraji, Dr. Kunle Ajibade, Dr. Femi Ogudumade, Professor Aaron, the former immediate past dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy. You're welcome, sir. Professor Afolayan, retired professor of biochemistry, and the Professor Adesanya, Department of Pharmacognosy, former Vice Chancellor DVC, former Vice Chancellor OOU, Agoiwe. Honestly, this is a wonderful gathering. When you keep seeing dignitaries and dignitaries, so many stars shining on one firmament, you are all welcome. The recognition goes on and on. As soon as we discover you are there, we are going to recognize you. Thank you very much. To close this recognition session, I want to welcome Chief Dr. Ebenezer Morakinyo Oshundari. This is from home, the Medical Director of Odufunke Memorial Hospital, Ijeda, Ilesha, where Prof lives. You're very much welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Other recognitions will come in due course. Without much ado, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, you've been our grand chief host. It's now time for you to take the microphone and address the House.
Well, thank you very much, the Major MC. The chairman of this very occasion, who is also the chairman of the Governing Council of our university, Dr. Yemi Ogunbiyi, who is also my own boss and somebody I've enjoyed working with. And I consider myself very lucky to have him as the chair of the council of this university at this time. And don't ask me why, because I believe that we all know the role that he has played in stabilizing, this particular campus. So we appreciate you, sir. So the honoree of today and the person that we are celebrating at this very moment, Professor Adebayo Lamikanra. And I also at this point want to join your cousin, sir, Professor Barrister Dejo Lamikanra, SAA. You're very much welcome to Obafemi Awolowo University. Maybe at this point I should just hint you that this particular venue, is where we normally have our Senate meeting. And the Senate meeting is actually going on now, as we speak. here. And we looked at it and said, Professor Lamikanra is one person that ordinarily we should postpone the Senate meeting and ensure that everybody will be here. So, and we looked at it and said, can we postpone this Senate meeting? And we found that the students will not be able to meet the NYSC because we've just been given, a few days window, and we need to approve the result and get it into NYSC. And so we said the minimum that we can do is to move the Senate meeting from this place and move it to another place so that this can take place. So I want to then say that there are quite a number of our professors here that are supposed to be in Senate. But most members of the Senate are here. So I want to forgive you, so, just as you must also forgive me. So the Kabiyesi, our royal father, and Olórí Kádépẹ́ lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà ọdún kan ẹ̀pẹ̀ fún àṣà ìlú arójú ìlú àtòrò. The president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, pharmacist Mazi Samuel Hamboa, who is represented here today by Chief Bumi Olaopa, chairman of the Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association. He's always been a friend of the university in all areas. He's so much passionate about Obafemi Awolowo University. Thank you very much, sir, for your contributions. The provost here present, I want to just ensure that we just stand on the existing protocol. I know all of you are here, my own provost, Professor Itaduola, but I must also seize this opportunity to recognize Professor Afolayan, who also had contributed immensely to our postgraduate college here and to his own department. There are quite a number of former provosts here and former deans. I recognize all of you. The Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor Akani, Professor Akamu, Professor M.A. Akamu, the Honorable Commissioner of Health, Osun State, Pharmacist Dr. Shiji Olamiju. You are very much welcome. We have quite a number of emeritus professors here. They have been recognized. Professor Ogunbono, Professor Lasisi, you are very much recognized. And the former Vice Chancellor and former Deputy Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Adesanya, you are recognized. Professor Desalusa, all the way from Ibadan, thank you very much for being here. All professors here present, all deans, the heads of departments, and the staff of Obafemi Awolowo University, you are all recognized. And I think it's also very important at this time, particularly when we are celebrating somebody like Professor Lamikanra, to recognize the chairman of ASU, Dr. Adebayo, who I'm told is also here. So you are recognized. Students of Obafemi Awolowo University, you are all recognized. Great Ife students, you are recognized. Great Ife! You are all very much recognized. Friends of the university, gentlemen of the press. But I think there's an omission here too, from my own point of view. Professor Sheye Bolaji is a member of council, so he's my boss. So I must recognize you, all professors in the house, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are celebrating somebody today that has made so much contribution to this university that if we start to enumerate his contributions, it will take us a very long time. But I'm going to speak from my own personal angle. The way I see Professor Lamikanra. And I've had the privilege and the opportunity of working very closely with him. So he was a cognate, in the Faculty of Dentistry and also, the College of Health Sciences for many years. So we had that opportunity of seeing him at very close quarters, and then also being able to understand him, the way he reasons, the way he looks at issues. And I can say, actually that there are so many things that are actually combined to make him the kind of person that he is. We've been told that he's a sportsman, he's an author, he's a distinguished academic, and he's also a thorough and very well-established professional. But all these attributes had come together to make Professor Lamikanra the kind of person, that he is today. And so we are celebrating him because when you look at his life, I can summarize by saying that Professor Lamikanra is highly cerebral, highly cerebral, very intelligent and very hardworking. So, but the essence of what he has been able to achieve lies mainly in his in his principled stand on issues. He's extremely principled. And I must say something that in our society, our society has not yet been able to come to the level where they will recognize people that are principled. Our society will always look for people that can compromise here and there. And that is why we are where we are now. And that is why we are suffering, even as a nation. So, and I'm saying this because I've worked very closely with Professor Lamikanra. In actual fact, one of my best cited papers emanated from his laboratory. We co-authored, that paper. Yes. And then with Professor Iruka Okeke, who is here now. So we wanted to do the work, and we couldn't find a place. And somebody just told me, said, why don't you go and meet Professor Lamikanra in pharmacy? He will be able to help you. So because we needed to do something at that time that had to do with anaerobes, and it was not common on campus. So we went to him, and he said, no, I will make my laboratory available to you. And lo and behold, the laboratory was available to us 24 hours of the day for us to do whatever we wanted to do there. So, and by the time we published that paper, for dentistry, where I come from, it was classical. It wasn't something that was so common. It has to do with Helicobacter pylori, using, because before you can harvest Helicobacter pylori and everything, you need to do gastroscopy, which was very tedious. So, but we then decided that let's check whether we will find it in plaque. And if it's in plaque, you just need to scrape your teeth and then you use it, and then you can still get the same thing instead of going internal. We found that there was correlation, and so it was a classical paper, and that came from his lab. And he actually directed us on what to do, how to do it, and everything. So I owe him, in terms of that. Now I want to just close this speech by talking about his highly principled stand on issues. Professor Lamikanra had paid his dues, helped the university in several directions. At one point in time, when the Faculty of Pharmacy was in some kind of dilemma and crisis, Professor Lamikanra was brought back to be acting dean of that faculty in order to stabilize the place. So, and he accepted, that offer and did the job. And today now we have a Faculty of Pharmacy that is the strongest, in this country. People like him, made that contribution over the last 50 years. But I must say here that the only reason why Professor Lamikanra did not become the Vice Chancellor of this university is because he's highly principled. So don't ask me me if I'm principled or not. But I must tell you that it would also have been impossible for me to become Vice Chancellor in this university, if not because of some people that are sitting down here today, like the chairman of council. So, because honestly in our society, when there are problems, when people are now at a point of no return, they look for people that are highly principled. But ordinarily, when things are normal, they don't want such people. But the society will always recognize that this person is unique, this person is different, this person can make changes. And over the years, you will see the trajectory, you will see what the person has been able to do, and you will emulate that person. And that's why today Professor Lamikanra has become not just a professor, but a professor of professors. And people who look up to him as their idol, as their mentor, are people that they can rely on. And so we are celebrating him today. So I want to stop at this point and then just to congratulate Professor Lamikanra for being so principled. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. We'll caution ourselves about the kind of questions we will need to ask here, as we have been rightfully advised. But between the chairman of today's occasion and the Vice Chancellor, they've not said something about Lamikanra that is also peculiar. You know what it is? Oyibokpo. Oyibokpo. And that was why he found it difficult to win election into the ESCO office, or the old ESCO, as an undergraduate. They said he's a better candidate, but you wait for it. So, that's what he said, he would have been a good Vice Chancellor, but he's too principled. As a student, he could have become the student union leader, but Oyibokpo. So, you get to know more about the stories when you read the book we're about to unveil today. It explores some of those moments of growing up. He has been asking me to finish reading the book. I can't finish it though. He said I must finish it before today. No, I won't finish it. Because I don't know when next something else will come from him. Right now, let me call on the chairman, global chairman of Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association, in the person of Chief Bumi Olawa.
The chairman and pro-chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, Dr. Yemi Ogunbiyi, who is also a friend of our own Lamikanra, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Eyitope Ogunmowale. I'm enjoying the romance between myself and the Vice Chancellor. Pray that it ends in a marriage that will bear fruit, that will make the Faculty of Pharmacy of Obafemi Awolowo University greater. We're there, but we can exit where we are now. So thank you very much. I know we made that the last induction, and you appreciated what KIPA is trying to do. The registrar, in absentia, I'm sure it's at the council meeting, Senate meeting, deans of the faculties here present. I can't remember the last time I was in the midst of so many professors, but at least I must recognize especially my former chairman of PCN, from School Council of Nigeria, who was also my lecturer while I was here, Professor Ogunbona. You're welcome, sir. Royal fathers here present, Kabiyesi, Kádépẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, kí rúkẹ̀rẹ̀ kó dẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbà ọdún kan. Distinguished members of GIPA here present, GIPA being the acronym for Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association, distinguished fellows of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, distinguished lecturers, distinguished students, ladies and gentlemen. The entire membership of the Great Ife Pharmacy Alumni Association, whom I am proud to represent here, felicitates and rejoices with our own Professor Adebayo Lamikanra, a distinguished alumnus of the faculty and a professor of pharmaceutical microbiology on his 70th birthday anniversary, retirement from the university, and the launching of his latest book, My 50 Great Ife Years. We wish you a happy birthday and many more productive years ahead as you age gracefully. Professor Bayo Lamikanra, or Lamike, as he is fondly called, is a pharmacist, a teacher, an author, a poet, and a sportsman who, even at 70, is still a great footballer and a very good cricketer. I am sure that the Igbobi Old Student Association here will testify to it that he was their cricket captain when he was in Igbobi College. I hope I'm correct. And he has still, yes, he says I'm correct. And they've told you how straightforward he is. So if he says I'm correct, that means I'm correct. Even as sitting next to me here, in those days I was very slim. So he could engage me in the fight, but you can see that I'm bigger than him now. He's still not afraid to say, he will not still be afraid to say that I'm wrong if I'm wrong, and that is Lamike for you. His achievements in his secondary college, that is writing, underscores the versatility of the Ife trained pharmacist, excelling in different sectors of human endeavor. His literary prowess makes him to dine and wine with literary giants like Professor Niyi Oshudare, Femi Oshofisan, Biodun Jeyifo, Odi Ofeimu, and of course, being very close to Yemi Ogunbiyi here, and writing for The Guardian, and others. And indeed, earned him the esteemed position of Chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Osun State branch, and the position of leadership in the Association of Non-Fiction Authors of Nigeria, AMPA. That is something that he does every December. He has never invited me to it. I understand he hosts poets in his village in Elisha. And pounded yam and palm wine flow. So please, sir, that's gathering. I want to be part of it this year. If you don't invite me, I will get crushed. The success story of GIPA cannot be complete without the role played by Professor Lamikanra and his team. I am here representing GIPA today. Maybe there wouldn't have been GIPA, and maybe there could have been. Lamike was not particularly popular with my set of 1975. If you can be blunt, I can also be blunt. With his small stature and deceptively stern look, because it's very deceptive. The man is very soft at heart. He only pretends. And that look was only rivaled then by the late Professor Kokani of the Pharmacognosy department, who the very first day meets you will tell you that you use that locker next year. That means you are going to fail, even from the very first day. As a graduate assistant, He was a graduate assistant then. We only saw him as one of us, teacher. He did not give him the due respect commanded by the likes of Professor Ebenezer Ogulana, who was his boss in his department. But as it was then, and still is now, you always know where Lamike stood. So it was on that day, in 1996, Lamike came for a pound of flesh on behalf of the faculty, not on behalf of himself. He's a very unselfish person. That was during his first term as the dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy. The faculty was in a state of disrepair. Today we still feel it is not much better, but maybe it's not as bad as it was then, because he was armed with a video recording. The laboratories were nicer. The drug research and production units, abandoned for many years. Lamike would not take no for an answer when he's convinced. I was the managing director of Glaxo Wellcome. Mazi Samuel Mwabuwa, who is the current president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, unfortunately is not here now, was the chairman of Pfizer Incorporated. While Odumodu, who was also one of his students, was the managing director of Mir and Baker. All these companies were the leading companies in the country. They were all multinational pharmaceutical companies. All of us were alumni of the faculty. He was blunt and told me how shameful it would be if we could not fix the rot. He did not beg me, he ordered me. You must fix this, or else we'll grant you. I'm not saying you send me on conference or anything, no. But you too, see what is happening to your faculty. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the rest is history. We rallied and got companies to adopt and refurbish each laboratory. Each company took a laboratory, and we even got some other ones that were not as big. Each company took each of the laboratories, and the DRPU was completed by a friend of pharmacy, Chief Adebayo. Throughout the period, Lamike was shuttling between Ife and Lagos, as if you were going to like a motor park. Even though he was a signatory to the account, he never saw the checkbook, because we were given a special dispensation by Citibank, which hardly allows anybody, just anybody, to open an account. But they opened an account for Faculty of Pharmacy Alumni Association, and we have tried to maintain that standard to date. We salute a great teacher and a committed alumnus. Please give him a round. So that was the foundation upon which today's structured GIPA is laid. It was resuscitated on the 50th Faculty of Pharmacy anniversary, and it's now registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and we are growing stronger. So please pray for us so we continue to be stronger, even as some of us age. We congratulate Professor Adebayo Lamikanra on this auspicious occasion and wish him a long life, in good health, and all the blessings that come with retirement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Alaupa. Any I saw the president of the staff club. He was here. And there's good reason for that. In case you don't know, Adebayo Lamikanra was at the time the president of the staff club. Now, this is a man who doesn't drink. I've not seen a drop of alcohol in his mouth before. But that was where our friendship was cemented. You know what? He used to buy me beer. I was the only one. He used to buy beer. And at the point, some of the bad boys came up to me and said, "Kill the chef, man, you know. Ojojo, I didn't go for any beer. I can't for you, know. I don't know. I'm checking up for you now. When you see him in the morning, he's jogging and you say, "Prof, good morning, sir." And then he buys me beer. He pays for the one I'm going to drink the following day. He might not buy more than the bottle, but I know. Then my heart told me, this is a good man. And then, you know, since then we've had occasion to go around and around and around and around. We once wanted to say who Kobe all over Ikeja in Lagos, and then we spent a whole day at Amalan, Begiri, somewhere, and up to tomorrow, if you keep telling me that, you know, that's one of the best days I spent. Because we just went roaming, went to town, you know. So, recognitions? Okay, let's do that.
Very quickly, the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Dr. Sharon Inoba, we want to recognize you. You're welcome. The current director of the Drug Research and Production Unit, Dr. Lonumola, you are welcome. Professor Mrs. Adeniyi from the University of Ibadan. We saw her walking. You are welcome. She's from the Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology at the University of Ibadan. And pharmacist Alhaji Rab, the CEO of Oroki Pharmacy. You are welcome, sir. All pharmacists in the house. There are several branches of pharmacy: academia, hospital, industry, community. You are all welcome. COFA members, you are welcome specially on board. I'm aware you made this a part of the agenda for today's COFA meeting. And last but certainly not the least, we have the Ibadan Director, I hope my designation is correct, for the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria. You are very much welcome. Thank you. Please let's put our hands together. I welcome them.
Thank you very much. If I call on the next person who's going to handle the microphone, welcome, the Arimodis. And that reminds me, all members of the Agbaya football team in the house, please stand up. There was an Agbaya football team. There was an Agbaya football team. Oh, what was it? That's what we called you. You know, there was a football team that Adebayo, Adebayo, Lamikanra, Dipo Fashino, Kola Olufemi, a lot of them. In the evening, you find them at sports center, playing sex. Before they come, end up at the bar, at the club. So we used to call them the Agbaya football team. Thank you very much. Well, sometimes you call yourself Agbaya football team too. Thank you very much for coming, the Arimodis. So now we want to present Press Hall. We'd like to present the celebrant of today in a special way. And to do that, I'll be calling on Dr. Bola Olayiwola to step forward. Obasman. Thank you. Bassman cannot be uncle. It is just Bassman.
chairman of the council, who is the boss of the vice chancellor, and the celebrant of today, who is my teacher. I'm a lifelong student. My Ebon from the source, I have to pay obeisance to him. He's the High Chief of Ibadan. Chief Kumilawa. And my dean, I don't stand on protocol because I'm heavy. The protocol may break. So I'm standing on my own. Now, who am I to ask Lamikanra to stand up? I won't. Don't stand up. But if you choose to, yes, for the 70s and the thereabouts and those aspiring to climb 70, there's a Yoruba saying that goes, "Tí o bá kádùn, ọmọ ló ń jẹ́wọ́." Now, all those things that we are saying behind you, we can freely say it on a day like this. It's like one of the things we celebrate in Ibadan, where everybody has a license to say almost and everything. Now we can't be asking or saying when he was born. On a day like this 70 years ago, he was born to one teacher, Baba Lamikanra, of blessed memory, and the mother, I joined him in planting both parents. That was a long time back. And this man was born in Ilorin. I want you to follow it. Was born in Ilorin, but he grew up in Oyo, in St. Andrews, Oyo, Sakoba. I am also privileged to have followed him at different times. So let's, because there's a book that addressed how he was born, how he grew up, and all those things. Because he will still write on what is happening today. So just watch out for the next episode. Since I have what you also have is CV. And I don't read when I teach. I don't like reading. I just like talking. So this is Lamike, who is a crisis manager. When I was told by I didn't meet my grandmother, but those that I met said that the day that you go and do medicine for snake, anti-snake medicine, that's when the snake will be running after you. So for somebody who manages crisis, little wonder that in 1995, he was faced with crisis. And that crisis lasted in this university, snowballed into a university-wide crisis, but thank God the storm is over. Lamike is someone who is fearless, articulate in his own version of the truth. Please follow me. If it is subject to debate, he will argue it profitably for himself. However, some of us will say, okay, you may be right, but that is not always the way. They say, you can do it your way, but as for Lamike, this is where I'm going. And that has seen him not developing extraneous diseases of the aged, aging graciously, because even when he was very, very young, he was not looking terribly different from what he's looking now. And there's a way that all people pretend that they are actually not you know, Lamike, it is, we live on the same road, or we used to live on the same road, and he will be jogging. I said, okay, you don't pass 60, they advise us to walk, but you are jogging in his short pants. And I say, well, you have your own. But that is a man that does not believe that something is undoable. Just tell him, I'm proud to be his disciple and single man foot soldier. When one man army, when we are talking, some of you putting your hand, where were you when we were looking for generator for the university, for the faculty? It was his idea. He would come to my office as if we were mates. By the way, if he's celebrating 50 years here, I shared 41 of those years. You know? So I know him. I like his principle. I don't have the Desha Agidi, no. I'm an Ibadan man. We are very, very diplomatic. So, all those good things that you have seen in the faculty, they were his original ideas. The generator that GSK donated, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, at a good time, sir, you will see rights retroactively to GSK, thanking them. We have never thanked them, and we are talking of several years back. It was Lamike's idea. He said, Lamike, let's gather all our boys. He said, Bassman, let's gather all our boys and let us provide the faculty with a generator. I said, one person can do it. We are blessed. So we went, to GSK. I sat on his neck that you are our own. We invented you. We discovered you. We synthesized you. So what are you giving to the faculty? He said, alternative power supply. I said, you got it. And that's how we had the first 100 kVA generator in the Faculty of Pharmacy. That is our work for a short time until we could not buy diesel. That's his idea. The internet. Chief Alagba, when you were in Glasgow, when it was Glasgow, we came together, but I was too junior and engaged with my own constituency that I could not follow him to your office. I sat with my own. And he said, Bassman, why did you come with Lamike? Lamike is not our friend. I said, Lamike may not be your friend, but Lamike means well for the faculty. We have come to raise money for internet. We were the first, and I stand to be corrected, the faculty that did internet on their own, not resting on the provision of the university, even though the university said we should partner. Am I right? That if we were able, that was 1996, thereabout, that if we could bring 50%, that the university will match it with 50%. So we did not go to one person this time. We said all our alumni to give us just 5,000 naira. We were so confident. And we raked those 5,000. That is telling you that Lamike is a selfless person. If you don't like his argument, and you won't, not many people will. Because if somebody had teachers, accomplished teachers as parents, chairman of many boards as father, everything, it's not a terror for the day. He was born with all the spoons. All the spoons. So, and he used it for humanity. Some people will be building castles. He did not. He was building his students. It is one person I copied because I've not tested, he doesn't use glasses. And he will not talk to you consulting any book. It is the book. Lamike is your friend. So ladies and short-form citation. But I know so much about Lamike, but that is what decorum, time, and my age will permit to say about him. Thank you so much.
I invite the chair for special intervention.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EC has to leave and go back to Senate. And if you allow him, can he go back? Yes. You're allowed to go back to Senate.
Right now, first of all, Adebayo Lamikanra, it's time for you to deliver BAAWI. BAAWI.
Kábíyèsí torí ilé láti kó ẹ̀ṣọ́ lóde mo kí kábíyèsí ọba adérẹ̀mí adépẹ̀yìntì olórùnfẹ́ ọba wa ní ìdáramọ̀ kádé kí o pẹ́ lórí bàtà pẹ́lẹ́sẹ̀ nígbà tí ẹ bá rí ọba nínú ọba ó ti mú gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n ní ìyá tó bí èmi ẹ̀gbọ́n ni wọ́n jẹ́ fún kábíyèsí. ìgbà tí mo lọ sọ fún wọn pé mo fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan báyìí wọ́n ní mo dẹ̀ ní nǹkan ṣe ṣùgbọ́n kò fún ọ̀sọ́tọ̀ wọ́n fi gbégbé lẹ̀ pé tiẹ̀ yẹn la máa wá sí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kábíyèsí o torí pé iṣẹ́ tó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn ìṣe kékeré gbogbo nǹkan tó wà lọ́rùn wọn ó wúwo díẹ̀ lọ gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n kọ́ sílẹ̀ wọ́n wá darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa ní ọ̀sán yìí. mo kí ọ̀mọ̀wé Yẹmí Ògúnbí alága ìgbìmọ̀ yunifásitì wa ní orí ìlúbí mo sì kí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ògúnbọ̀dẹ̀dé tó jẹ́ pé olórí wa ní yunifásitì wa níbí mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí ó wà níbí àwọn bí mo ṣe wà yìí wọ́n má ní kí n lọ dijú sí kọ́nà kan mo kí àwọn tí ó wà tó lọ Igbóbi college wọ́n lè pọ̀ wọ́n lè ní Lamikanra what do you mean by that ẹ̀jọ̀ tí mo bá ṣe nǹkan tí tẹlifíṣọ̀ ẹ̀dárí jù ní lọ́jọ́ tèmi èmi náà lè ní ẹ̀. gbogbo àwọn tó wá lọ́mọdé dàgbà lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin mo kí gbogbo yín àjíǹde ara máa jẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ gbọ́ tẹ́ wá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ gbọ́ gan tẹ́ wá. Wọ́n pé méjì mi. Adebayo Lamikanra náà. Ẹ ṣe. Rọ́pò ìwé ńlá. Gbogbo nǹkan tó wà tó sọ kọ́ lóyìn ẹ máa mú sápò. Ṣùgbọ́n ó ní olóyìnbó mi pọ̀. Yorùbá ni mò ń sọ báyìí. Torí pé ilé láti ti kó ẹ̀ṣọ́ sọ́dọ̀. Ṣé rí èdè wa yìí? Ó ní ìpilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àṣà wa. Àṣà wa yìí ó ti pẹ́ tí a ti tò jọ. Ó ṣe wá láàánú, ó ṣe mí láàánú pé ní òde òní àwọn èèyàn ń bímọ wọn sọ Yorùbá sí wọn. Wọ́n á ní great daddy nàìjíríà ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ ọgbọ́ Yorùbá àpògbọ́ Yorùbá ìṣekúṣe nìyẹn ó dàbí ẹni tó fi ọwọ́ sí ìwé bàbẹ̀ ó dàbí pé ọmọ àlè ló ń fi ọwọ́ sí ìwé bàbá ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé Yorùbá wà lárugẹ wípé Yorùbá ṣe rí nípa ọ̀rọ̀ èdè kan ojú kan lọ àbí tó bá wà lórí èdè gbogbo èdè ni ó ṣe pàtàkì ṣe rí kẹ̀sì tí gbogbo wọn sọ bí ọ̀pẹ rẹ̀ nígbà kan tó bá sọ ní Gẹ̀ẹ́sì gan nílẹ̀ wọn á ju ẹsẹ̀ wọn ni orúkọ àwọn ará Faransé ló ń ṣọ̀gá àwọn gbà yẹn kí wọ́n táwọn náà tó ja àjàbọ́ wọ́n wá ní ṣẹ́rí èdè wa yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé bí ogun ni ṣẹ́rí èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tẹ́rí yẹn àwọn òyìnbó àgbè ní prostitute aṣẹ́wó ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò síbi tí ò ti mú ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ di tiẹ̀ kò sí wọ́n dé India wọ́n rí calico wọ́n rí bungalow wọ́n rí lute wọ́n rí thought gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n kó jọ wọ́n jù sínú èdè wọn. Èdè Gíríkì yẹn ti ẹ̀ pọ̀ lọ láti rẹ̀ èdè Faransé pọ̀ lọ èdè German kó pọ̀ lọ tàbá wádìí wọn gan-an wọ́n ti di Yorùbá kan tó wọ́n. Àwa tá a wá ní èdè ibo la wà o àkọ́mọ wa ní àdàlú òyìnbó kan Gẹ̀ẹ́sì kan tí ò múnádóko. Ọmọ wa di pé kò gbọ́ Ìgbò kò gbọ́ Yorùbá odi ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronúpìwàdà èdè wa yìí o ẹ jẹ́ ká rí wípé àjẹkó kú orédè kú o ẹni tí àwọn tó bá ní èdè tí wọ́n ní èdè tí wọ́n kọ́ bí ara sí akúdànù pátápátá ni. Mo sọ Yorùbá kì í ṣe pé mi ò gbọ́ òyìnbó kì í ṣe pé mi ò gbọ́ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì o mo ti òyìnbó tó gbọ́ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tí omi ó fowó kọ́ ni. Mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí kankan nínú wọn bí o bọ̀ tó bá wà ní màá sọ ọ̀gbọ̀n pé tó bá mọ ibi tí mo ti dé pẹ̀lú èdè ìlú tiẹ̀ èrò àbúbà yẹn o sì gbọ́ tèmi mo jù ọ lọ ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this occasion. It's one of the happiest days of my life. Look at all these beautiful people. You have come because Adebayo Lamikanra has asked you to. I thank you. I thank my parents who are not here. And sometimes I say that I chose them carefully. I chose them carefully because they set me aright. They set me on the path that I have been trying to tread. I'm 70 years old, but let me tell you, I never do anything without thinking, tí bàbá bá gbọ́ ńkọ́? Tí màmá mi bá gbọ́ pé mo ṣe lé ńkọ́? I do. And then I do what that's right, what I decide is correct. Yes, I want to get the thanking out of the way. Those teachers of mine who tried to teach me, especially those who tried to teach me mathematics, you have my sympathy. They didn't succeed. But some of them would look at today and say, oh, we knew he had it in him. Others will say, when did he become this person that people are talking about? I thank my teachers at the BAAWI College. I thank my teachers at the University of Manchester. And so on and so forth. I thank my family. My son, Adebayo. Báyọ̀mí Mọ̀rọ́lákẹ́, Adélájà Ògbọ́ládé, Abíọ́dún Mọ̀dékọ̀ọ́lá. I have my wife, Adélájìkẹ́ Lamikanra. I'm not going to say I thank them. I have to apologize to those my children. Why do I say I have to apologize to them? Knowing that this world is so terrible, I still committed all the crimes to bring them to the world. But I'm sure they forgive me. Because, difficult as it might be, I have tried to be a father. When my first son was born, somebody said, "How do you feel?" I said, "No, I don't feel anything." When I look at this young man, I say, "Bayo, you are done for. This man, you are responsible for him for the rest of your life." And that is what I have done in the case of each of my children. I thank all those, my students, who have allowed me to express myself in the ways that I have been able to express myself. Without you, I would have no career. Without that career, I would be nobody. Yes, I am proud to have been born of teachers. I'm even more proud to have been a teacher myself, especially within an environment where things have collapsed and are collapsing. But we will leave that to another day, because I have a valedictory lecture to give. It is not going to be academic, because this is not the day for academic things. But it is a day for us to explore things together. And the other day I came across a work by Sir James Fraser, who for 61 years was a fellow of the Trinity College of Cambridge. And he said something which I found very profound. He said, myths are the philosophy of primitive men. Myths are the philosophy of primitive men. What did he mean by primitive men? He meant those people who have not been exposed to the science and technology, to the comforts which we now take for granted, but who were in dire straits, who were hiding away from other creatures, who had not even learned to till the soil, but who had to go through life as humans or near humans, and who came up with all these very interesting stories about what life can be or is or should be. And we find out that virtually every group of people have their own myths about one thing or the other. But one of the most powerful myths that we are engaged with, or we have been engaged with, have been propagated by 3 groups of people that I want, or even 4. The Yoruba, the Greek, the Jew, and then the scientists. The scientists also have their own myths. I am actually fascinated by myths because in my early teens, I became acquainted with Greek mythology. And I followed Hercules on his 12 labors of whatever, I followed Perseus, followed all these interesting characters that were part of Greek mythology. But I'm not talking about Greek mythology in general. I'm talking about Greek mythology in terms of human creation. We look at the world, and we hear that man was created. Or not everybody subscribes to that idea that at one point in time, humans were created by some forces and then let loose into the world. That is the myth that we can interrogate. But as I said before, I'm fascinated by the fact that there is a nexus between those myths from the Greek, from the Yoruba, from the Jews, from the Scandinavian, from so many this is how it probably was. But before we go and talk about contemporary or comparative mythology, let us look at the stories that have come down to us from these three groups of people, and then the fourth group, which I will deal with maybe longer than those of the straight myths. The Greeks, they said that Prometheus, the Titan. Now, there was this race of godlike creatures called the Titans. They were massive. You know, anything that is massive now we call Titanic. You know, the big ship. We said it is Titanic. It is like, it is a giant, like a Titan. And there was all strife and friction between the Titans and the Olympian gods. But there was this Titan called Prometheus, who actually molded man from clay and got the goddess Athena to breathe life into the clay figure to create human beings. Hey, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? The Yoruba say that it was Obatala, child of Olodumare, who came to earth. He had actually founded the earth because there was this time when the earth was full of water. It was a void. It was uninhabitable. And then Obatala, some people insist it was Obatala, some will say it was Olodua, who came and made the earth what it was. He scattered earth, he got the cock to spread it, he got the chameleon to test it, he got, in any case, he founded a world for man to live in. But there was no man. What happened was Obatala, I don't know, maybe it was on the instruction of Olodumare, I think it was, dug into the earth, found clay, and molded human beings. Unfortunately, there was Pawan around also. He drank some. Some of the people he formed were deformed. And that is why today we say any Orisha, or anyone that carries a deformity. We did not castigate Obatala for his mistakes. We did not dismiss him as a drunkard. We accepted that he could make mistakes. If a god like Obatala could make mistakes, what about those of us that are not in that category? We are fallible and we make mistakes. But the point is, those mistakes can be forgiven. Those mistakes, in fact, at some time, must be forgiven. And that is the Yoruba myth of human creation. Again, Obatala molded, Olodumare provided life. Then we had the Jews. All of us here know the story of Adam and Eve and all that and all that. The same thing, the God molded and breathed life, formed this creature called Adam, put him in clover, in the best conditions possible. But Adam was already more human than God himself thought. So he began to look, I'm bored in this place. I eat when I want. So God came, put him to sleep, and created Eve to be his companion. And we all know the end of that story. And that the question of Eve creating trouble with the serpent, and they've been expelled from paradise and all that and all that. The same thing actually happened with Prometheus. When he had formed human beings, he had this implacable enemy, Zeus, the father of the gods, who, for one reason or the other, just did not like human beings. But Prometheus stood up and then did something that was almost unforgivable. He stole fire and gave it to human beings, for which transgression he was chained to a rock by Zeus. And an eagle was sent every morning to eat out his liver, which then grew back overnight so that the eagle could feast on it again the following day. That is because Prometheus he wanted to look after these human beings, these poor human beings. Let's go back to the Yoruba myth. There was a time when everybody, the human beings that Obatala created, the spirits, and they all lived in heaven, or at least above the earth. And the humans went to Olodumare one day and said, look, the earth is looking good. Why don't you send us there? And God, I said, what do you want to go and do on earth? We want to go and replenish the earth. We want to make it fruitful. We want to build things. That is a good thing. Go. And as they went, the pestilence, plague, all kinds of problems. They too went to Olodumare and said, look, those people, they will be too happy when they go to earth. They will forget you. Let's send us to them so we can torture them from time to time to remind them that they have limitations. Olodumare thought about it. You may not have agreed with them, but said, okay, you can go. And then the gods came and said, send us to intercede for those people. They will kill those human beings, so they will kill them all. Said, go. So the gods also came to earth. So those are myths. Those are myths because human beings need some comfort. They need a situation in which they can have some confidence in the future, which will not always be guaranteed. But you will see that in the midst of all their troubles, human beings found a way of comforting each other, even if those comforts were not tangible, but they were necessary. And you will find out that the earth is a battleground. You need all the help that you can get. When Prometheus gave man fire and got into trouble, you know what Zeus then decided to do? Let me send a woman to the place. So he sent Pandora. Pandora had a box full of the same things that the Yorubas people will tell you. The mischief, the plague, and everything. And unfortunately, Pandora opened the box and all these things flew out to torment human beings. But there was only one thing left in Pandora's box, and that was hope. Hope was the only thing left. Hope is the only thing that human beings can hold on to in their hour of need, in their hour of discomfort. When things are really dark, we must cling to the hope that was left in Pandora's box. But like I said, those are myths. Let us look at the scientists. They are not, those people, they are a rascally lot of people. They deal in doubt. They refuse to accept anything as certain. They will interrogate the same thing over and over and over again. And even when they think they have finished, another of them will come and say, look, let us do it this way. And lo and behold, they get a different result. And that is what Joseph Bronowski described as the ascent of man. Man is always moving forward. Man is always climbing mountains. He's always climbing up. He will never reach the top, but he will never descend, or he should not descend. Now, when we talk about human beings, so you see the scientists, they don't believe that man is a creature. In fact, some of them in their irreverence, we tell you that man is a creator. Apart from the fact that he's there, he's creating, he's making things happen. He's fighting against the forces of nature. The forces that we say are of God. And he's always doing that. So the scientists tell us that some 50 million years ago, one creature crawled out of the swamp. You see, again, it's all about swamps. It's all about water covering the earth. Water, life was formed inside the waters that covered the earth. And from time to time, some creatures escaped and came to land and began their existence. Now, let us telescope the whole thing. When I say some 3.4 billion or million years ago, one subhuman creature or human-like creature descending from a long list of such creatures was found to exist. They called that creature Australopithecus afarensis because it was the first creature that had some of the salient features that we now associate with human beings. Australopithecus afarensis came to what was there as part of the food chain. It could be eaten by other animals. It was an animal itself, but it had one feature. It could walk on 2 feet. Because he could walk on 2 feet, he became the dominant ape. Different from the chimpanzees, different from the other apes. And he continued to grow. He was at adult size. It would have been about the size of a 12-year-old of today. But it was recognizable. It was the first fossil that was discovered to be recognizably human. Australopithecus went away and was succeeded by Homo habilis. Homo habilis was the first human-like creature to make tools. Very crude, but again, separated him from the other apes. Habilis was the first human to come across fire. Fire. You remember I said that when Prometheus brought fire to the world, Zeus was so upset because look, that is power. Fire is power. And you're giving it to those wretched humans. The habilis was the first human-like creature to have the use to make use of fire. But he could not control fire. He made use of it, but he did not control it until his descendant, Homo erectus, came on the scene. And then, maybe Prometheus-like, he got the he could make fire, he could control fire. And that is when human beings came alive. Because for the first time, they could cook food. And cooking food turned the tide in the favor of humans. Before then, they ate only leaves, some roots when they found it, nuts. Really disgusting things that are of little nutritional value. But when they had fire, suddenly they could now eat proteins. They could now kill animals and eat them. It was not the palatability that was so important, but the fact that for the first time, human beings had nutrients which helped them to grow their brains. The brains, the neurons formed. The brains got bigger, so that it became able, in brain size, double that of Australopithecus, and became close to that of Homo sapiens. Now, we are Homo sapiens. We are, in fact, which means wise man, Homo sapiens. But to even make sure that there is no doubt about our wisdom, we say we are Homo sapiens sapiens. The wise in it, we doubled it. And we began to create. We began to, it is said that Homo sapiens, in fact, from the time of Homo erectus, he has been creating tools that he will use to dominate the environment. Fire. The fire actually brought humans to life. They could now move away from places that were into places that were cold. They could use the fire to make caves habitable. They could cook their food. They did so many things with fire. And you know something? We are still in the age of fire. Because when you look around, the air conditioner, there is fire inside that thing. Your phone, the battery, there is fire in it. We have taken fire from the environment. We have caged fire. And by catching fire, we became creative. We became creators. Maybe we now created more problems for ourselves. But the point I am making is this. The whole thing about being human is being cerebral. The whole thing about being human is being cerebral. It is your brain that is most important. If you can enjoy life through your brain, you have solved most of the problems that can crop up in your life. Because the brain is articulate. It can think. Think. My students will remember. Some of them will say, I see them and say, what are you thinking? And you say, come on, tell me. You can't tell me. That's because you are dead. If you are not thinking, you are dead. And that is the basis, that is why we are here. That is why we are in this august environment. We are the leaders of the world. We are the thinkers. It is our brain that we work with. That is why we should be respected. That we are working with our brain, the most important organ in the body. In fact, the organ that dictates to all other organs. You know, when we started, our brain started getting bigger. Our stomach started shrinking. Our intestines started getting shorter. Because the brain was there, it was working. And those of us that come here and try to stimulate others to think, we are most important to the further development of Homo sapiens sapiens. Now, Homo sapiens sapiens, there is another person who added something else to the Homo thing. He said, Homo sapiens aestheticus. Homo sapiens that appreciates beauty. Beauty. Beauty in all things. In nature. In the written word. Sometimes I read a sentence and I'm telling you I've almost moved to tears by the beauty of it. Years after I left the secondary school, my classmates are there. They remember that I was a very poor physicist. It's all right. I survived it. But you know, later, I was reading Newton's laws. Those 3 laws. And you know, that is beauty. It's almost perfect. Nothing on earth is perfect. But when you read those laws, you think you are close to perfection. And that is the point that we have to make. That we are here because of our brain. And we must use those brains in order for us to continue the ascent of man. My chairman made mention of Plato's Academy. That was the first tertiary institution in the world. It was a place where people came together to discuss ideas. It was a place where they challenged their brains to work for them. It was a place where contemplation was regarded with greater respect than action. And it lasted for 200 years until the Roman general, Romans were barbarians, He thought others were, but they were as barbaric as the barbarians. He shut down the academy. Sulla was his name. If you do good, we remember you. If you do bad, we will also remember you. Plato is remembered for the academy, for setting humankind on a new path, the path of philosophy. And that path led us into the realms of science, when we began to really look at our environment, and we began to ask questions of it, and we began to see that we have the capacity to do something to the environment for our own comfort. And that is the stage we are in. Don't let us think that this stage we can take it for granted. There was a time when we called the Dark Ages, when darkness was upon the world, when thought was put in bondage, and evil men were in control. But then, because we are human, because we got this brain, the age of enlightenment arrived, and we began to enter the age of science. We began to print books. And I can tell you, books are the salt of the earth. When you read books, when you write books, you are in another world. You are in the world, you are now a creator of ideas, and so on and so forth. That is why the university is a very, very, very important place. It's a very important institution. It's an institution that is more powerful than any individual. Yeah, you all say, Lamikanra was here for 50 years. So what? In 50 years time, nobody is going to remember that Lamikanra was here for so long. The institution is more important than any individual. And that is why we must say that we must do everything to make sure that our institution, not just this institution at Ife, but the university system, the Nigeria's educational system, that it performs. And I'm going to say one thing. There is something we call free education. Let me use a very contemporary description. That is bullshit. That is the ultimate bullshit. When people tell you about free education, they are bullshitting you. You must pay for education. Somebody must pay for education. And I don't give a damn who pays for education. Somebody must pay. The people who have been talking about free education have been playing politics. They know it is not possible. So they just give up. They don't pay teachers. Let me tell you, if my parents were teachers in the age of free education, I would not be here. Because they would have suffered so much that I would have said, no way I'm going to be a teacher at any level. In the same way that my own children don't want to be lecturers. They say, so what? That is because some people are not doing what they should be doing. A lot of people will come to places like that and say, I now call on government. There is no government in Nigeria. There has not been a government in Nigeria since May 1962. That is when we began playing politics in this country. That is when we thought governance was a question of getting to power. And then you get to power, and all you want to do there is to hold on to power, to prevent other people from getting power. And when you cannot prevent them, to make sure that when they throw you out of power, you are still fighting against them. Can you imagine this nonsense? That we had an election earlier this year, and some people are preparing for the next election. Idiots! People who don't think. People who are less than Australopithecus. People who are less than Australopithecus with a small brain. When are we going to stop playing politics in this country? When are we going to make sure that in my lab I have the equipment to work with? When are they going to say, make it possible for me to talk about ideas? When are they going to make it possible for me not to cohabit with mediocre people? Because let me tell you, the best people are no longer coming to the university. They are going elsewhere. They are becoming crypto bank managers. They are becoming oil workers. They are into oil and gas. Those are the best people. They want to leave those of us who may not be as criminally endowed as they are, to stay in the university and continue to teach what they know they should not be teaching. Where is the research culture within our university? When are we going to be able to go into our lab and do work that we are going to be proud of? We are every bit as intelligent and as educated as people in Harvard. But in Harvard, if you send your child to Harvard, better be prepared to pay $60,000 every year for his tuition. The man in the come on. The man here sends his child to Ife and gives him 5,000 naira for first fare and maybe nothing more. Parents, we must challenge them, look after your children. The most important thing that you can do for your children is provide them with an education. I am tired. I thought I would be sad going away. I am not. Because for many years I've been struggling against bullshit. For many years, we have not been able to do anything tangible. We continue to teach those things we know we should not be teaching because there is nothing else to teach. We are not teaching people who are not even equipped to be within the university system. You see a person who can pass 5 at credit level, 5 papers in 2 cities. Hey, that guy is next to an imbecile. What is he doing in a university? What can he gain from a university? How did he pass that exam? How did he even get the credits that he got at 3 or 4 cities or whatever city? We are shortchanging ourselves. And then these people, some against all odds, we produce them. And then one day, a WhatsApp call comes. Prof, I'm now in Toronto. What are you doing in Toronto, for God's sake? I taught you so that you can come and practice pharmacy in Ibadan. You are practicing it in Toronto. The people in Toronto did not even give a cent towards your education. And then, let me tell you, the people in diaspora, they are gone. They are lost. They are finished. They are finished with you. They are finished with us. The other day, I was with people who were, yeah, they are doing great things. For who? For themselves as individuals, not for our society. I don't blame them. They have a right. But let no one begin to tell me that people in diaspora are Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. They will not come back. Apologies to my dear student, Professor Iruka Okeke, who has come back. He's the only one I know who has done it. The others are there. And I told one person from the diaspora who came to me, I'm coming back. I said, you are not coming back. He said, I'm building a house in my village. You will not live there. He said to me, what are you saying? And I said, listen, you are there with your wife. He said, yes. Your children, they are Americans. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now let me tell you what will happen when you want to come back to Nigeria. You will call your wife and say, Mama Bisi, let's go home. Mama Bisi will say, that is the best idea you have had in a long time. You will start buying pots and pans. She's telling you a big lie. Just a minute, sir. I will soon round up. He's telling a lie. Just before you go, Baba Bisi, Bisi will go to Baba Bisi, and you know Bisi is pregnant. When she delivers, then when Bisi's baby is 1 year old, that was baby, he just started it. I said, Mr. Man, you might think of coming back to Nigeria, but bear it in mind, you will come back alone. If you want to come back, BC is going to stay in America. BC will stay in America. Therefore, who has never been to Nigeria, will not, if your mother is still alive, the day she dies, therefore is not going to be there to make funeral, to take part in funeral activities. What we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country where the intellect is being abused. We live in a country where we are not given the wherewithal to build on an education, a firm educational foundation for our children. I got better education than my children. That is the tragedy of my life. They should have a better education than I had. but the opportunities are no longer there. You go to hospitals, you say that there are no drugs. How can there be drugs? All the money has been used to pay the pharmacist and the doctor. There is none left to buy drugs. Well, I practiced pharmacy for only I'm going to Whisper for only 3 months. I dispensed drugs like a pharmacist. And at that time, in 1972, I did not know there was nothing called a generic drug. All our drugs were by the big companies, who all existed in Lagos. How many of them are there? Virtually none. Those are the things that are not going to help us to continue with our ascent. Ladies and gentlemen, we can go on talking like this for a long time, but I know that I should stop. Thank you very much.
That was I don't know. Oftentimes when Prof is done with his speech, I like to sit down and redigest it again and again and again. And really that's what Prof has made us do in class. By the time he teaches you in class, he makes you walk through different fields of knowledge, and that brings you to a place. Brings you to a place where you just keep thinking about it. I believe we enjoyed that lecture. BAAWI. BAAWI. Very quickly, before we move on to the next item on the agenda, we have just some more visitors in our midst. We should recognize Professor Osazua, Professor Lamikanra's first postgraduate student is in our midst from the University of Benin. You're welcome, sir. And then we have the Association of the Nigerian Authors Family, Professor Shegun Adekoya, the ex-chairman. Please let's put our hands together. Moriola Awoshimo, the state chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors. And then we have Larry Fadamsi, the state chairman, National Intervention Movement. Please let's put our hands together for them. As I just a minute, please. I've also been duly informed that Professor Kemi Rotimi is in our midst. Please let's put our hands together and celebrate your welcome.
Thank you very much. Right now, let's move on to the book review because we are past visit time due to no fault of yours, but just because we didn't start on time. The chairman has a flight to catch. So let me call on a fine gentleman, a journalist par excellence, one of those who made it possible for us to enjoy the freedom we enjoy in our country today. One of those who laid his life down. We didn't lay it down, they took it. You are going to take it from him. For the students, for the younger generation here, you have an Android phone, Google Kunle Ajibade, and find out what he did that made him so important to the history of this country, the history of you and I. He is coming around to do the book review. Uncle Kunle Ajibade, please, we are honored to have you in our midst. He's an author and a publisher. He's a public intellectual. He's above all one of the finest gentlemen you could encounter.
his hands because he has stolen the thunder from me. When I called him to ask about this obligation, he said that, well, he will speak before me. I said, well, wait. I mean, because I know of his eloquence and he has demonstrated that this man is just a genius. The chairman of council of BAAWI University, Dr. Yemi Ogunbi, my former teacher and a very good friend, KBSC, all distinguished people who are here, thank you so much for honoring this man. The title of the review is Lamikanra's Half a Century at Ife. My 50 great Ife years, 1969-2019, is Professor Adebayo Lamikanra's illuminating record of his exemplary life and remarkable experiences at the Obafemi Awolowo University in the last 50 years. The memoir is a sequel to Igbobi Boy, which is an account of his secondary school years in Igbobi College, Lagos, where he spent 7 years to study for ordinary and advanced level examinations, which he passed in flying colors. He left Igbobi College in December 1968 and worked for a year in the pay office of the Federal Ministry of Finance at Mosaic House, Lagos. Since the Biafra-Nigeria War was raging at the time, the Ministry of Finance, under Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and the Central Bank, which was very close to it, had the additional responsibility to pay huge cash for arms and ammunition. Lamikanra's job as the most junior clerk in the pay office was to prepare leave vouchers, which he did for about 9 months. He was paid £16, 10 shillings a month. Looking back, Lamikanra writes, I can conclude that it was indeed an enjoyable interview. I arrived at work early in the morning, having been given a ride to work by either my father, who worked in BP House around the corner in Broad Street, or Mr. Genio, who worked in the Federal Ministry of Justice on the Marina. Those rides were usually uneventful as we left home in the Lupejo estate early enough to beat the brunt of the traffic streaming into Lagos Island every morning, as with us over the Kata Bridge, or for others over the newly completed Eko Bridge, unquote. From UTC, the then the biggest departmental store, where he always went for snacks, he could watch with absolute pleasure the heavenly marina. And because our papa dogs were on the other side, he could also watch how ships were sailing gloriously into port. During this gap year, he also spent a lot of time with Uncle George, actually his father's cousin, who worked on the sports desk of the Daily Sketch, which had its offices on Broad Street. Together with this journalist, he watched for free all the marvelous games played at the Onikon Stadium, the Principal Cup, the Challenge Cup, the Manual Cup competitions, all of them. Lagos was at that time the center for cricket in the country, and Lamikanra was a regular playing member of the Lagos Amateur Cricket Club. The lagoon by Onikon Stadium was still a beauty to behold. True, the traffic congestion was already becoming a problem, but buses ran on time. Lamikanra described that period of his youth as balmy days, quote and unquote. The pleasant Lagos of the 60s that Lamikanra rhapsodizes here, you must remember, was the upper middle class Lagos. But this Lagos boy had to leave the city in September 1969 in quest of knowledge at the University of Ife. When his name appeared on the admission list of the university, published in the Daily Sketch, his father was far away in Geneva attending the annual International Labour Organization conference as part of the Nigerian delegation. In appreciation of his son's feat, he bought a relatively expensive automatic wristwatch for him, which he used for a long time. His father, as a graduate of St. Andrew's College, Oyo, was the one who encouraged Lamikanra and his siblings to study medicine or pharmacy or any professional course. Definitely not any of the art courses in which Lamikanra was obviously excelling. That's why Lamikanra described his father in this book as the author of his destiny. He was still an art student until his first time in Form 5 at BAAWI College, when he registered for science subjects. Not a few of his classmates were surprised. They thought he couldn't be serious. Like many other things in his life, however, he regarded their contempt and mockery as a challenge, and he rose mightily to that challenge. In the end, he made decent grades in all his papers. By the time he got admission to the University of Ife, he had never been to the university campus. He only chose the university because it was the only one of the fourth generation universities that had faculty of pharmacy. When he finally got to the campus, after a day of delay, not a day of delay, after a delay in Ibadan, because of the Adebayo unrest, he simply fell in love with the beauty of the campus. The memory of that beauty is painstakingly described in his book. Lamikanra says that he was proud right from the beginning of the magnificent institution in which I immediately, and I'm quoting him now, in which I immediately began to look forward to spending 3 rewarding years, end of quote. After the January 15, 1966 coup, during which Chief Lado Akintola, the premier of the Western region, whose government was a clog in the wheel of progress of the young University of Ife, had been assassinated, the new man in the saddle, Colonel Adebayo, took it upon himself to actualize the dream of the Obafemi Awolowo's government of building not just the most beautiful university in Africa, but one of the best in the world in terms of the quality of his research and learning. Fajuyi was so passionate about this big dream that he chose Professor Ezekiel Oluwasomi, one of the planners of this university, as the Vice Chancellor. The high standard for which Professor Oluwasomi had been justly praised, and the grace of his conduct in office are the yardsticks with which Lamikanra judges successive Vice Chancellors of this university. His insistence on these higher standards brought him in perennial conflict with some authority figures in this university who may not forgive him for his unbearably scathing yet objective assessments of their personalities and their mediocre style of governance in this manner. Professor Ezekiel Oluwasomi has spent 3 years as Vice Chancellor by the time Lamikanra entered the university, which was then a giant construction site. Although he did his orientation at the permanent site, it was to the old College of Arts and Science and Technology at Ibadan, a temporary site which housed Faculty of Pharmacy that he returned for his training. With the University of Ibadan very close by, it was as if he was admitted to one university and got another one for free. Lamikanra, the Lagos boy, socialized so easily and confidently, even when the then Faculty of Pharmacy had a reputation for being so difficult. He was very active in sports, He was a member of ISOC circles. He even contested for the post of all chairman and lost. To be sure, he decided to contest on a whim because a student had boasted that nobody could challenge a candidate who was already presumed a winner. Lamikanra campaigned vigorously in good English. But politics, as we all know, is not only about eloquence. So he was roundly trounced at the polls. After the election, many of the students told him that he was a better candidate with excellent programs, but his problem was that he spoke too much English. One of the memorable events of his undergraduate years was the murder of Adebayo, student of the Department of Agricultural Economics, University of Ibadan, on February 1, 1971. The students of the University of Ibadan were only protesting against the authority for the poor quality of food when the then Vice Chancellor called in the police, who started shooting sporadically. Adebayo was killed by stray bullets in front of Queen Elizabeth II. The entire nation that had not experienced this kind of tragedy was shell-shocked. Lamikanra was at St. Anne's Church for Adebayo's funeral, where he met the young and already famous Wole Soyinka, who was also there to pay his last respect to Kunle Adebayo. The Faculty of Pharmacy that Adebayo Lamikanra was admitted to in 1969 was a very, very difficult faculty. Indeed, according to Lamikanra, students of other faculties knew that, and I quote, pharmacy is 3 plus X years, where X is unknown, end of quote. Meaning, you could spend many years for a 3-year course if you are not so brilliant and diligent. But Lamikanra finished his studies on time. He writes in detail about how he surmounted his difficulty. He observes that there was no doubt that the quality of the pharmaceutical education that his generation of students was exposed to was very high, and there was a large and highly competent professor to take those students through their paces. He celebrates the diversity of the teachers who have come to Ife from different parts of the world, thereby giving the universe in the university a true meaning. This was not limited to the Faculty of Pharmacy, to the best of my knowledge, since I'm also a graduate of this school. The entire university embraced this diversity at the time. Lamikanra pays a glowing tribute to the memory and achievements of many of his teachers who worked tirelessly to raise the standard of this Faculty of Pharmacy, the first Faculty of Pharmacy, to the best of any of the best universities in the world. In his final year, his marks were the highest that the faculty had ever recorded in pharmaceutics. Which was why he was the winner of the Booth Prize for Pharmaceutics that year. But listen to it, yet, he was not one of the few students who made 2-1. He made a 2-2. The young man was devastated and went straight to his head of department, Dr. Ogunlana, to complain. Ogunlana told him that he was very, 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 very close to 2-1. But Ogunlana will soon travel down to Lagos just to ask Lamikanra to apply for a position of graduate assistant in the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry. He recommended him over and above some of his classmates who had 2-1 degrees. That was how Lamikanra returned to Ife as a young teacher, having to teach some of his classmates who had extra years. With the staff development scheme in place, University of Ife paid for his doctorate at the University of Manchester. Professor Ojo of the Department of Physics, who was the chairman of the College of Science at that time, tried to encourage him to choose pharmaceutical technology. But Lamikanra insisted that it was either pharmaceutical microbiology or nothing. He would have missed the chance of going to the University of Manchester if Dr. Ogunlami had not written to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ezekiel Oluwasomi, who rapidly approved his sponsorship, which is why this book is co-dedicated to Professor Ezekiel Oluwasomi. On September 27, 1973, he left for Manchester. As a football lover, one of the major things the young Lamikanra started looking forward to was watching live the Manchester City Football Club games. And he had more than enough of those games during his 3-year stay. He worked hard on his PhD under the supervision of Dr. Michael Charles, who informed him at the end of his first year to proceed from a master's program to the PhD program after a satisfactory performance. Lamikanra was not a nerd at the University of Manchester. Together with his Nigerian friends, particularly those Lagos boys, he organized parties to no end, to which other nationals were invited. He was also a member of the University of Manchester Staff Cricket Club, which he played 3 games every week. He played 5-a-side football too. He watched a lot of sports programs on the television. He learned how to cook, how to sew, carrying out minor repairs to his own clothes. He subscribed to the Guardian of London and read it inside out. He also read a lot of fiction and non-fiction. He was, most crucially, at the University of Manchester, that it was at the University of Manchester that he read a lot of books on socialism. He was convinced that, and I quote, no alternative to socialism as a way to deliver social justice, end of quote. In 1973, he had witnessed in England the mess that the Conservative Party made of the economic and social lives of the people under Edward Heath, and the progress made with the pro-people policy of the Labour Party when Aaron Wilson took over. When the University of Manchester decided to discuss the government's proposal that the overseas students' fees should be jacked up, Lamikanra, who was the only overseas students on the faculty committee, told the committee that increasing the fees of overseas students was neither justified nor justified, as those of them from the former colonies of Britain and contributed immensely to the development of Britain. He further argued that if Britain insisted, the Soviet Union would be more than willing to admit those students to its universities. In the end, the proposal was suspended. Lamikanra admitted that at this period in his life, he was a pampered child of the University of Ife, for the money never for 1 month failed to come at the right time. This is one major reason that he has emotionally stayed in Ife as a way of paying back to the school that was more than generous to him, and as a way of passing on the kindness. When it was time to write up his thesis, he threw himself completely in it. that the supervisor, Dr. Awu, and the external examiner, Dr. Denver Russell, a leading authority in his field, never stopped praising the quality of his research, and particularly the quality of his writing. 2 days before his 27th birthday, October 14, 1976, Dr. Adebayo Lamikanra returned to Nigeria, ready to nurture generations of students and contribute to the body of work in his field. His parents were so happy that it was that same year that his brother, Dotun, completed his medical studies at the University of Lagos with highest distinction, and Biola, his sister, made a 2-1 in zoology at the University of Ibadan. Within 3 years that he was away, the country had taken a turn for the worse. His much beloved idyllic marina was gone. Yep. Crass materialism led to frenetic worship of money and become the guiding principle of our country. Our papa pots were jammed with cement armada. Crooks are multiplied. Stupendous waste of money became the habit of the wealthy. Lamikanra knew then that his country was on a cliffhanger politically and economically. Yet it did not appear that many people were ready to do anything concrete about the decline. The University of Ife, which was owned by the Western state, had now been taken over by the federal government. And the great Professor Oluwasomi had been removed by the federal government. Like other universities in Nigeria, the University of Ife, that used to have its examinations in June, now had 2 semesters, Harmattan and Rain. With his doctorate, Lamikanra resumed in 1977, taking over courses taught by Dr. Peter Ugo, who had gone to the University of Benin. It is interesting that the office which he inherited from Dr. Ugo in 1977, which is right opposite the laboratories of pharmaceutical microbiology, remained his office up to today. His resolve was to promote the spirit of academic excellence in his students. He was determined to get the students to think, because thinking, according to him, is perhaps the only thing that separates man from other animals. And he has shown that, with doctors now. He also resolved to be courageous, never to call a spade by any other name in the course of doing his legitimate duties of teaching, researching, and rendering administrative services. Strong-willed, very upright, Lamikanra always rejected temptations for easy satisfaction. Whenever it was necessary, Lamikanra criticized severely all manners of mediocrity in the university. His positions on issues concerning his faculty, students, ASU, Senate, and Council, recanted in this book, show that he cares about dignity and self-respect. He accepted all students that approached him to supervise his business. Following the tradition of Dr. S.H. Kali, one of his favorite teachers in his undergraduate days, he never lectured from notes. He never dictated notes to students. 50 years on, he has produced many successful pharmacists, some of whom he mentions with joy and pride in this book. He has written 86 peer-reviewed articles in reputable journals. He's still involved in research, according to him, which hopefully will yield more publications in the near future. He has served the university diligently, admittedly, the belligerent, in various administrative capacities. It has always been his major concern that the Faculty of Pharmacy in Ife, which is the premier school of pharmacy in Nigeria, should be treated as a treasure. As the dean of the faculty, apart from the much needed innovation which he had done. He had also raised money, from the alumni of the university. Some of the accounts has been given. But the part of that account that was not used was I thought I should let you know. When they finished raising the money, a lot of money, these alumni people, the Vice Chancellor of the university insisted, the then Vice Chancellor of the university insisted, that the alumni committee had no right to build any permanent structure within the faculty, even though the laboratories were to be built following the plans which had been approved by the Capital Project Committee several years before. That Vice Chancellor wanted the alumni to hand over the money to the university authority. At the prompting of Lamikanra, the committee refused. In the end, the parties agreed that the capital project unit of the university should only supervise the construction. To the annoyance of the VC, Lamikanra stuck to his guns. The new laboratories were eventually built. That was not the first time. The last time that Lamikanra will have a run-in with some authority figures in this university. There are many instances in this memoir of his belligerence, which remind us that his housemaster, when he was in Form 2, had written in his report card that he was a belligerent character. But his belligerence has always been for a good cause. Consider this example, before I go to Sudan, of Lamikanra's belligerence. After he had been denied a desired professorship for several years, he finally got it. And the registrar wrote to him, asking him that he should send reams of paper with which the university will publicize the news of his promotion. And angry Lamikanra wrote back, not just to the registrar, but also to the Vice Chancellor, telling them that the university, if the university could not buy the reams of papers for the cyclostime machine, which was in vogue that time, he should not bother to announce his professorship. But he did not say they should. They should not award him the professorship. The truth of the matter is that Professor Adebayo Lamikanra doesn't suffer fools gladly. Whether they are vice chancellors, whether they are student union leaders like Tony Fash, or a supplier of equipment who wanted to bribe him, or parents of students who desperately wanted admission for their wards in the Faculty of Pharmacy. Lamikanra contested for the post of Vice Chancellor 3 times and lost. The reports are all in this book. And even after he had made the shortlist call, not because he was not qualified, as this memoir shows, but because he just would not play the game of sending people on his behalf to the President of Nigeria, who ultimately appoint Vice Chancellors for all federal universities. It is this kind of anomaly that Lamikanra always rails against in his op-ed pieces in the Guardian, for which he is well known and highly respected outside of the academia. There are stories in this book about how he started writing for the Guardian, about all the student clashes with the authority in this university, and the roles he played in solving some of the problems that led to those crises. There are stories about the University Zoological Garden that used to be an interesting fixture in this campus, now rendered rustic. About student armed robbers who terrorized lecturers in the staff quarters. About his well-kept garden. About the various sports clubs he started and ran successfully with others like Dr. Yemi Ogunbi. about the scientific and cultural discoveries in Sweden when he was there on sabbatical, about how he turned around, not as chairman, but as sole administrator, the moribund staff club, about how he became a lover of jazz music and the jazz club that he formed in this university to promote the music, about the Ife Poetry Festival, the oldest running poetry festival in Nigeria, which he started in 1998, about how he became the chairman of Osun State chapters of the Association of Nigerian Authors, and how he ran it together with Professor Laroti, and about how his passion for imaginative literature generalized. In this memoir, Memories Wake Up History, Amnesia Surrenders to Nostalgia. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, given Lamikanra's memoir, given Lamikanra's prodigious memory, his very rich imagination, his facility for words, and the discipline to manage these gifts. Because you could have all the gifts without the discipline to manage the gift. It is no wonder that he writes penetratingly and lucidly. His eloquent words simply roll out precisely and pure. Each time he analyzes political events in this book, he is adept and meticulous. He is a benign and thrilling clarifier with a keen sense of higher purpose. A higher purpose that demands a devotion to noble ideas. The book allows you to smoothly fly in Lamikanra's orbit, where you encounter the goodness of the science of pharmacy and excited about the power of creativity, the power of curiosity, and the power of dissect. G. LeBeau, a professor of American history at Harvard University, told some students recently that history is the art of making an argument about the past by telling to accountable evidence. To a very large extent in this memoir, the argument of Lamikanra is about the necessity for a restoration of core values and principles that will nourish and extend the frontiers of enlightenment and modernity itself. All the evidence-based stories he has told in this memoir justify this very important argument, and the stories are carefully articulated. I thank you so much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please another round of applause for Adebayo. Long before now, you were told about his imprisonment. Yeah. And at that time, I wrote a poem about it. Because he was locked up for 3 years and more. So the title of the poem is 3 Years and More. 3 years. 3 long years and more. Wasted in the murderous gulag. Doing penance for nothing. 3 long years and more. Away from the comforts of home and earth. Put away for crimes which extended only in the mind of a man driven mad by the love of self. A peacock with feathers on the inside. Those 3 hopeless years and more, on the inside of a vine lockup, strong rising sap slowly turned to gall, heavy and cold, precious life-giving seeds turned to dust, choking and poisonous, useless as yesterday's breeze. For 3 and more years, the sun was a stranger, his friendly rays blocked off by the sandy crust of the tomb, which imprisoned the dreams of paradise. 3 goofy years and more, the days of which flowed one into the other, joining without a sea, as the sands of time dribbled away, lost to the vile nothingness of infamy. Then, glory be, the Lord of the flies, carousing in his gilded tomb, in the shadow of the rock, swallowed his breath and was carted away to be interred like the remnants of yesterday's feast. Now, the tombs are open, casting out those who are dead and are alive once more, alive to fulfill the destiny of our glorious rebirth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Lamikanra, for that beautiful tribute. And also thank you, Uncle Adebayo, for that worthy to be published review. I could pay to have that off the bookshelf. That's the review. It's as good as the book it advertises also. I'd like to acknowledge the head department of English City University of Ibadan, who is also an alumnus, Dr. Angela Robin. Or is it Angela? Yes, sir. Angela, right? Angela Robin. Thank you very much. Now, we'd like to make better use of our time. 2 major things we need to do now is to cut the birthday valedictory unveiling cake, and then unveil the book and have people get the author to sign. And then we have our friends, our colleagues from the Department of Dramatic Arts who have been waiting since morning to give us a little bit of dramatic presentation. In the absence of the chairman of today's occasion, who has stepped out for exigencies, we'd like to have a chairman designate to the person of Chief Olapa. Chief Olapa will now take over the role of the chairman of the day, and then he will be assisted by the Dean of the Faculty, the Royalty Kabiyesi, in cutting the cake, family friends. So please, if you can have some light music, let's cut the cake. Family. Children. Wife. Uncle Deja. Uncle Deja.
You won't call me.
Can we move?
Rocco, you won't call me.
Uncle Adebayo. Oh, don't come alone.
Well, I can't help that now.
Chairman has Uncle Bassman. Professor Zazo. Professor Zazo. Please come. There will be other photo sessions after now. We just significantly move to launching of the book, especially because we know that some of our guests do have to travel far. move to the book, Chief Alapa. The book. Now we'd like to launch, we'd like to unveil the book. President Adebayo and Lamikanra will take other photo sessions later. We'll take other photo sessions later. Let's unveil the book. Unveiling the book is also another opportunity for taking pictures. Vanessa, please join them to unveil the book.
Hello. Hello. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time is fast spent. We'll do this as quickly as possible. When you hold the mic, it suddenly confers some powers on you. And I intend to use that to the maximum. We know that this is 3-in-1. Retirement, birthday, and book launch. And being the global chairman of GIPA, I want to use that opportunity of being the acting chairman now, or acting substantive chairman, to start from the middle. I think the rear has been dealt with, the retirement, the birthday. GIPA has a present for the founding father of GIPA. I'd like to call on the secretary to GIPA, global secretary, to please step up here. On behalf of GIPA worldwide, would like to present this plaque, 70th birthday plaque, to Professor Adebayo Lamikanra for the excellent role he played in the formation of this association. Thank you very much, sir. We hope you are retired but not tired, and we'll always come back to you for advice. Okay? Now, we also have a small present here for him for his 70th birthday. So on behalf of GIPA, we'd like to give this to you in remembrance of your 70th birthday. And finally, now I'll do the role. I'm going to perform the role that I've been asked to come and perform now. That of unveiling this beautiful book that has been so eloquently reviewed by Mr. Kunle Ajibade. I commend the book to you, and please don't buy just one copy. Buy for yourself, buy for your wife, buy for your children, buy for your grandchildren, and buy for your old schools, To the glory of God. Sorry. To the glory of God, I'm privileged to unveil this book. I wish to launch this on behalf of Giver with 100,000 naira. Thank you. MC, please come and do your
Can we have the Dean also announce his own launching?
Well, my secretary doesn't give a free lunch. He wants to know how many copies we are taking to Lagos. 5? Okay, we'll take 5.
Well, on behalf of the Faculty of Pharmacy, we are launching this book with a sum of 30,000.
30,000. Thank you very much. The department is not represented here to do that. To go meet them later. The acting head of the department.
On behalf of the Department of Pharmaceutics, we are launching one for 10,000 naira.
One for 10,000. This book, a copy is not going for less than 5,000 naira inside this hall. That's the decided price. A copy is not going for less than 5,000 naira. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for you to call any of the ushers and ask them to bring copies to you. You may not have to stress yourself standing up and walking down the aisle. Can we call on Professor Adebayo to launch on behalf of Barrister Dejo, Barrister Dejo Lamikanra, a cousin to Professor Adebayo Lamikanra. Ushers, please.
I've been asked to launch on behalf of the Lamikanra's son. He's supposed to be here, and that's why his name had been called severally. He was on his way yesterday, but because of the situation in the country, before he got to Kaba, he had to turn back. He left Abuja, and I was told that he just thought that many vehicles were turning back, so he too had to turn back. And I'm sure he communicated this with Professor Lamikanra. So while I was sitting there, he informed me that I should pick 3 copies on his behalf at the sum of 500,000 naira. So I know that Professor Lamikanra knows how he will get his money from me, 500,000 naira. But on my behalf,
I'm having a copy of the book for the sum of 20,000 naira.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Barrister Lamikanra and his representative. Please, if you want your copy autographs, if you want your copy autographed, please, you are free to come over to Professor Lamikanra.
Professor Shibiojo is having a copy for 10,000 naira. Osun State Co-Farm. Osun State Co-Farm is having a copy for 5,000. Francis Adebayo, accumulate 2 copies for 10,000 naira.
Rocco, 1 for 10.
Dr. Adebayo is having 1 copy for 10,000 naira. Buy a copy and get it signed. The Castle Martins are taking 5 copies for 50,000 naira. The Castle Martins 5 copies for 50,000 naira. The Vice Dean of the faculty is taking 2 copies for 10,000 naira. Professor Olamsuoso, one of the classmates of the celebrant, is having 2 copies for 20,000 naira. National Association of Academic Pharmacists, NAPA only, 1 copy for 10,000 naira. Lamikanra family is having 4 copies for 50K. from the Dramatic Arts Department, get ready to hit the stage. I need signals from our friends from the Dramatic Arts Department. I need signals. Professor Bola Adeniyi from the University of Ibadan, 2 copies for 10,000 naira. Professor T. Olugade, 1 copy for 10,000 naira. Professor G. Naomi, 1 copy for 10,000 naira.
celebrating. One copy for 5,000 calories. Individual members of ASU have been picking copies. But I don't know if ASU has a body. Will come out now. I trust them anyway. Because Brother Lamikanra and ASU have come a long way. I'm sure they will do what is right. While we're still going on with the book signing session, can we have some light music?
Students don't go. I've been told that you should not leave. If you leave, there will be sanctions. On your behalf, I would like once again to wish Professor Lamikanra a very happy birthday, a restful retirement. I can see him smiling because I know that he's not tired. He had a very good beginning at Ife and is ending on a high. So we congratulate you, sir. I wish you well. We want to congratulate your wife, your children and your grandchildren for witnessing today and hope that they will take a cue from this and know that it is good to be nice. Thank you all. There is still a vote of thanks. I don't want to usurp Professor Adebayo's role. And I'd like to call on him now to come and give the vote of thanks so that we can leave. Professor Lamikanra, please.
I think I should get down. Yeah. Well, today we are so happy that our guest, Professor Lamikanra is taking a vow from the faculty that he has been for the past 50 years. The journey that we are witnessing today, the end of the journey that we are witnessing today, for those of us who are very close to him, has so many undercurrents. When this program started, he started writing the book. I said, Oga, so you mean you are leaving us? He said, yes, he has paid his due. We have witnessed that today, the success of this program. The VC said something the other time, that the Senate was scheduled for this venue today. Day before yesterday, when somebody hinted me that the Senate meeting is for this venue today, I got demoralized. I ran to him. I said, Prof, I learned that the venue we are using, the Senate will be having their meeting there today. Characteristics of Professor Lamikanra, he remained calm. Say, don't worry. We have had our plan for today, and it's going to be held here today. Say, what do I do now? Say, I don't know. It's okay, I took a decision to inform my dean immediately. And thank God, the dean took the challenge and informed the university authority, the registrar and the VC. And a few minutes later, I was informed that the university has taken a decision to change the venue of their meeting, the Senate meeting, to the conference center. I thank everybody that has been here. Let me start from the Pro-Chancellor, who have just left for other needs. We are grateful to him for honoring this occasion. We are also grateful to the VC for honoring it. I was at the Senate meeting this morning. I can realize what he said, the importance of what he said. To him, the Senate meeting that was held this morning is supposed to have been postponed for the sake of Professor Lamikanra. But because of the interest of the student involved, the Senate just have to go on. And so, we are sending our appreciation to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mbodede. All the men on the high table, incidentally, there is no woman. From my Oga, Okumbumiala, the chairman worldwide of DIPA, my dean, Professor Moses Akamu, and those people, the big guns that came, KBSC, Oba Ilaramoki, and all the professors that came from far and wide, and those from within, we appreciate them. We appreciate Professor Lamikanra's students. His four students, Professor Slasdua, that came from Benin. And to the last one so far now, that is Mrs. Akinkumi. Akiwumi, Mrs. Akiwumi, the lady that read the acting HOD address. We appreciate what you put in to have this occasion for our guy, Mr. Lamikanra. I'm wishing you all journey mercy back to your destination. Professor Lamikanra is 70 years old today. We are wishing him good health, and that the rest of his life will be spent in good health. I thank you all for coming. I thank you all for what you have contributed, especially the book launch. And the MC, Rocco. I know Rocco is very, very close to Oga. I'm sure they have ties with Professor Lamikanra. When the university is about to rusticate Rocco, Lamikanra will be there to save them. He and so many of them, and the A's and all of them. I know, like Rocco was one of the most troublesome student union leaders then, and you can still see him here. And Professor Lamikanra is always there at their mercy. He has been a big uncle to all of them, and even to the ASU. I'm sure with the book, I don't know whether Professor Lamikanra wrote this, the last battle we had with the university authority. I don't know whether it's indicated here or not, but I salute his courage. I was then the HOD of his department. I salute his courage. Oga, you have paid your due. I wish you that the rest of your life will be spent in good health. Thank you for bringing us. We need to thank him because he brought all of us here. And for those faces I've not seen for long, I saw them today. Professor Uruka, Okeke, and Paul, and those people from Ibadan. I thank you for coming. God bless you all. I wish you journey mercy back to your destination. Rocco, you can take one now.
Thank you very much. My brother, my comrade, disregard whatever it is you were saying about me. You can't say it to my face. You can't say it to my face. Understand that a lot of people who have loved to be here today are not here, but a good number of them have also sent goodwill messages. A special presentation to Professor Lamikanra by one of his students. Former Vice Chancellor, Professor Elijioba, sent his goodwill message. Former Acting Vice Chancellor, if I'm correct, Professor Elijioba sent his greetings. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all. I'm reiterating what the votes of thanks just cast has to say. I must admit that myself and Professor Lamikanra have come quite a little distance, and I've cherished every moment that I've spent with him. One of the things I won't forget is the fact that when I was in a one-room apartment in the suburb of Lagos, and I had just a mattress on the floor, Prof will visit me, and we will sleep on that bed, just the two of us. And he still remembers this moment. I do too, and I relish those moments. When as a bachelor, I didn't have a television set. I had a mattress on the floor. Prof comes to Lagos, and he's on that bed. Both of us will sleep. And then in the morning, I will boil water for him to shave. And then we'll drive around. So Professor Chief Olopa, I'm using this opportunity to extend an invitation to you, to Ile-Ife. I'm duly competent to do that, because we started this together in 1998. I've been the secretary of the Ife Poetry Festival, and it has now become Ilesha House Party Festival. And I think I've only missed it
once when I was out of the country. So for any other person who is interested, it's usually the first Saturday of December every year. So it's always fixed. We arrive Saturday evening or afternoon, and then we read poetry all through the night. Of course, with music and all kinds of entertainment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is where I drop the anchor and I head back to my base in the University of Ibadan. Once again, my name is Rocco. My friends call me Robbie. My children call me Baba Robbie.